All right, so we are live in effect. It is go time, you guys. This is the Locker Room Show. I am your host, Coach Terrence Wood. Excited to be with you guys tonight because we got a special show lined up. I already see people in the chat. I already see people live with us. And of course, I got the gentleman with us. So let me get started with the introductions. On the far right, you guys already know who that is. That's my road dog. That is Q, the guru, and he's always coming in effect. What's going on, player?
Man, nothing much, Coach. We got another good one this week.
We got
Another good
another
one.
good one. Yep, some great topics, and you guys know how we get down in the locker room show. And then in the middle, that is my dear, dear friend, former teammate, and now you guys doing huge things in college football. He is the head coach of Missouri Baptist University, none other than Jason Burianek. How's it going, coach?
Good. How you doing, Coach T? It's good to see you, and Q, good to be with you as well.
Definitely.
No,
Appreciate it.
man, we're happy to have you on. I know it was short notice, so you always come through for me. I think we even got mom in there she goes from Boulder. Mom's already in
She
the
ain't
chat
missing
with
that.
us. So
She's not
what's
missing
going
that.
on, Nancy?
Nah.
Yeah, I see Rick. Rick, what's going on? And then, of course, I see my mom too. My mother-in-law, she's in Denver. Mom Victoria. So thank you guys for rocking with us. All of you student athletes, all of you parents, you coaches, this is the place to be. If you haven't been in the locker room with us before, this is for football players, parents, and coaches that are serious and want to get after it and learn more about the business of football. So let's get started. For those that, let me get a cup of water real quick. For those that are joining us for the first time, you guys see right there on the ticker at the bottom, those are the topics. Now we got Coach with us, so we're going to obviously get some juicy stuff from him and ask about Missouri Baptist. But we got key topics right there at the bottom. These are things that are real time, you guys, going on in the football industry. And you guys, I'll get started with this one. This one definitely caught my attention, and this is Youth Football League sued over the misuse of funds. And it sounds like they were just having a good time, Q. And they were drinking and eating edibles on the sideline and all things that I know don't go down at Missouri Baptist.
No.
But the bigger picture, and I'll start with you, Coach. Actually, um, when you look at the youth league level, the high school level, the junior college level, in your opinion, how much does coaching, does organization of the program really play into effect with the success of the athletes, in your opinion?
Well, to me, it's huge. I mean, because I look at the youth level a lot like, kindergarten, first, second grade teaching. If you go through kindergarten, first, second grade, and you come out of there and you don't know how to read, you don't know what your letters are, you can't write sentences, you're behind for the rest of your time in school. And I think the same thing for youth, that if you don't learn proper fundamentals and you don't learn teamwork and you don't learn that stuff at the youngest age, then then it really puts you behind, because when you get to high school and you get to college, it's too late. We don't necessarily have time to fix fundamentals on a kid, and high school coaches don't either. And beyond that, it's not so much even just the time as much as it is just the amount of work and coaching that it takes when you've got other kids there. So I think it's huge. I think far too many youth coaches, whether you have that article that you're pointing out, or I got coaches down in Florida, and I know it happens beyond there, but that are talking about betting and wagering going on at youth football games.
Wow.
Man.
About what this kid's going to do and if he's going to score a touchdown, and there's actual money being changed hand on the sideline. Like, people got youth sports very, very twisted, in my opinion. It's too much about winning, and it's not enough about teaching the kids and developing good habits and being role models. I mean, my kids I'm standing at a youth softball game watching my daughter play right now, but I don't care if it's football, softball, basketball. There's scholarships aren't being handed out then. Let's teach them right. Let's show them what the right thing to do is, and that it's not all about winning as much as we want to win, but also, model what we want to see. And it's getting bad. I mean, I hate to say it, but it is.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, literal betting on youth league games. Q, I know you're in St. Louis. I know that there's a lot of talent out there. Are you hearing of programs that are really doing kids the wrong way, or does everything seem to be on the up and up out where you're at?
I mean, no, we actually, man, we had a situation a few years back. And a good friend of mine actually was the principal at this school, and when coach hit it right on the head when it came down to winning, I knew the head coach there, and there was a situation where there was a kid that was an absolute dog and wasn't supposed to play and was suspended, and they put a jersey on him and let him play because it was about winning. And
Mm-hmm.
when I tell kids and I tell parents all the time, even in corporate America, there's a reason why companies love to hire former athletes and military personnel, because of discipline and work ethic is more so than the average person.
Good
So,
point.
like Coach was saying, it's been out of hand. It's getting worse. And then you talking about the portal and NIL deal money. It's we're leaving ethics and morals on the sideline.
Wow,
And, and
that's
and I'll tell
big.
you this, T. Not to cut you off, but that's tough to teach later in life. If got part of learning and part of life is learning from your losses and your mistakes as much as your victories and your successes. And if you don't learn that throughout the course of your life, man, the reality is, Coach Q hit it right on the head. Like, when you get into the business world, I tell our guys all the time, they're not going to give you a participation trophy. They're going to give you a paycheck, or they're going to fire you.
Yeah.
It's one of the two. And that's why we're having problems with people being disgruntled, going back into their employer and doing bad things. It's because they don't understand that they've been patted on their back. Parents have fought their battles for them throughout their entire life. They don't know how to do it.
Wow, that's a
Facts.
great point right there.
Facts.
And hopefully you parents and everybody are listening to this. You coaches that are out there, you guys play a big part in really the success of these young people. We are on to our next topic, you guys. And in the locker room, we hit it hard. Once again, these are real-time topics. These are things happening now that you guys should be aware of. And this next one I thought was pretty interesting, and definitely want to get you guys feedback. But Q, you mentioned the NIL, and this athlete, quarterback Sean Clifford at Penn State, is getting creative. He said, instead of going to agencies and trying to get the bag, I'm going to become the agency and help student athletes get NIL opportunities. Q, talk to me about this. Do you think that this is a little bit too much for maybe a college kid to chew on, or you think it's creative and savvy?
Well, I think it's creative and savvy. I think that maybe if it was something, and T, we've talked about this, off the record, even, man, with maybe even him partnering somehow with Penn State, or even on larger scale the Big Ten conference. And if you're really going to try to help these kids, then they need to understand the business and economics. And then again, it still goes back to, when money is involved that young, it goes back to morals and ethics, man. That's the one thing, money, that's going to always throw off morals and ethics every single time if you're not careful.
Great point. And Coach, I know that may be on a smaller scale, but your kids are open to NIL too. If your quarterback says, Coach, I'm opening up an agency, are you like, hold on, or are you giving the thumbs up to something like that?
Well, I mean, I think I'd give the thumbs up, just because it's, if the NCAA or the NAI is not going to legislate, it's not for me to step in and affect a kid from, doing his thing and making some money. I don't agree with it. I don't see the difference between signing with his agency or signing with Mike McCartney. That's a NFL agent himself. So, like, what's the difference? That's where, to me, the NCAA rule book is just thrown out the door. I don't understand what is all going on. It's just free for all right now. And if you're going to be able to sign with his agency, you ought to be able to sign with any agent out there. So, I mean, I'm not going to stop him if he's my player from doing it. I think Q hit the nail on the head that if you're going to do this NIL stuff, then we need people, whether it's at the university level or with these agencies, that are going to start teaching them how to invest their money wisely. Because you know, if you're 18 years old getting paid a couple $1 million, you could be broke. Like, that's life-changing money. But we've seen numerous stories over the course of our time, and people we know that misuse that, mishandle it, and you got to teach them how to do that.
No, that's a great point, Coach, right
true.
there.
That's true.
And hopefully things work out for this young man. You know, this is all new. This is Wild Wild West, you guys. So some of you guys may have these opportunities. You got to be smart. Remember why you went to college in the first place, too.
True.
We are on to a major topic, and this is kind of a part of the whole new times that we're in. But the transfer portal is big, and Mr. Nick Saban over at Alabama is responding to charges of tampering. Other schools are saying he's coming after their players. Coach B, I know that this is peer-to-peer a little bit, so I'm not going to get too much on it. But just overall vague, just maybe paintbrush, do you think this type of thing does go on as far as, I don't know at your level, but do you think coaches are contacting players from other teams, active teams?
I would go on a limb and say that coaches aren't, but as you well know, coaches have their ways, right? And you know, I know stories of guys during a non-contact period that are on the phone with people sitting across the table from them. You know, so
It's a way.
you know, yeah. So I mean, there may not be coaches calling them, but it happens. It's happening. It's really, I wouldn't say a new thing, but right now what's going to happen with NIL is the rich are going to get richer, because you're going to have people on the backside that are just flat out going to offer a kid more money to go to a different school. And I've heard stories of that to a different school beyond Alabama, but another big time FBS program where basically they just said, we'll get you this kind of NIL deal if you transfer. And whether that's happening from the coaches or a booster or an agency, right now, like you said, it's the wild, wild west.
Yeah,
it is why. I mean, we just were talking about it with that the wide receiver from Pitt. We were just talking about that, man. And it's man, whoever's got the bigger Brinks truck right now, man. That's the bottom line. But it's sad because it's the death of the amateur athlete. Like, there's no such, if you guys really think about it, there's no such thing as an amateur athlete anymore.
No, you're exactly right.
At the FBS level.
Yeah. Well, really before then.
Oh, yeah. If they're making money, yeah. If there's a play.
Yeah, we're talking about high school. I mean, it's no such thing. Soon as you get an NIL deal, as soon as you take $1, that's it.
Yeah.
You're a professional now.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, I think the reality is you know, the Alabamas, the top, you know, Clemson's, the Georgias, the USC's, the Notre Dame's. Yeah, they got donors that are going to back that money truck up and get the athlete that maybe they need. But, you know, like right now, the Colorados, the Kansases, the Kansas States, they don't have those kind of donors. And so what you're going to see is the rich get richer. They're going to be poaching the best players. Yeah. So you're really going to have an even wider gap of the haves and have-nots. And what ultimately, you know, they've talked about for a while, but if they don't get under control, you're going to see a certain number of teams, I don't want to put a number on it, separate themselves, create their own semi-pro type deal, and everybody else is going to go back to being that amateur status.
Wow. Yeah. No, I think you're dead on there, and you already see it coming, the NCAA disbanding and those things next. So we are on to our next topic, you guys, and it's all about evaluating talent. And Q, I'll actually take this one. You know, we're fortunate to have Coach B join us on the show tonight. So we want to take advantage of that. A lot of coaches, players, parents listening tonight, we want to ask key things. So, Coach, when it comes to evaluating talent, obviously, I mean, we see here on the screen the Manning takeover. There's so many elements with the Mannings. Arch Manning is basically a celebrity. You've got some kids that you're maybe recruiting from different areas, the social media is such a big thing. So for you as a head coach and your staff, what do you find in today's era being the most difficult thing to kind of figure out about a young man if he's right for you in Missouri Baptist?
I would say two things. One, it's the hardest to evaluate their heart and their true desire. That's hard to show up on film. So, you can watch them, but do they really want to do it? Or like we tell guys, are you seeing their top 2 minutes, that they've ever had, and you're not seeing all the rest. And I think that the second toughest thing is the trust factor, because frankly, anymore, I hate to say it, but it's really hard to trust parents. And I'm not faulting them. I'm not shooting arrows, but I'm a dad. I know you are. We all think our kids are great, right? We're gonna brag, and I tell parents all the time, like, you're supposed to. That's part of your job, but we have a job too. And the high school coach doesn't always tell you the truth, because the high school coach, they're getting pressure from parents. They're getting pressure from the kids to send them to college, and they want to send them to top schools, so that coaches will be like, yeah, this kid's great, hard worker, loves the weight room. And then, when that doesn't pan out, you call them back. They're like, oh yeah, well, I've seen that. And well, man, why didn't you tell us that? You've seen it. Like, we're trying to get an honest assessment. It doesn't mean we're not going to sign the kid, but we just want an honest assessment. And those are the two things that make it hard for us.
No, that's great right there. I mean, those are things that I didn't even really think of. As far as social media, do you check out the parents' social media, or do you just stick to the kids?
We stick to the kids primarily. It's probably not a bad idea, but at the same token, you also have to separate, because not all kids are like their parents. You don't know the involvement of that parent, right? And I hate to say that, but you don't know on either side, mother or father, they might not be anything involved with that kid. So we really just kind of focus on the kid, on their social media and that stuff. But as you guys well know, like, I don't care what level you're at, the difference between kids that are getting offers and stuff like that, there's a thin margin there. I mean, there's a lot of good players out there, and so trying to sort through them is challenging. And you need, we want guys that are just tough. I mean, we tend to lean towards guys that I always say that have a problem, and I'll tell them that straight up. Like, we want a kid, like, what is your deficiency? Maybe the big boys say you're not tall enough. Maybe the big boys say you're not quite fast enough, maybe you don't weigh enough, because all that stuff is irrelevant to your heart. And we can take a kid like that and turn them into a good football player. Sure, they may not go to the league, but they can still play football at a high level.
I love it right there.
Yeah,
you guys
for sure.
are getting it direct right there from somebody that can give you the money, can help you get some college money. And that's as truthful as it's going to get. Q, as far as when you were at Kansas, man, I know that there were guys that were highly rated coming through the locker room. When you were looking at guys that were new and they were hitting the field, did it always pan out that the ranking matched what you saw on the field? Or were there some times where you were like, hey, man, what's going on? How'd this guy get the scholarship?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you see that all the time. Like, what does like, for example, I mean, I was fortunate enough to be a 4-star recruit, but what does that really mean? Because then you go back and look at Cooper. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it was 1 star, maybe 0 stars.
0 Cooper Cup.
Tyreek, I don't think had any stars, or maybe 1. And he's the most explosive guy in the whole league. So it's one of those things where, no, absolutely not. A lot of times, it has to do with what school you came out of. You may be coming from a relatively small, no-name high school, but then you have a kid that's coming out of IMG. He's going to get ranked higher because he's an IMG kid, not because he's a bigger dog than this kid over here. So it's like Coach said, it's hard because it's a ton of sleepers out there. And you can build I'll have a whole program full of sleepers. And the coach will tell you, in a good squad of sleepers, I'm going to beat you every time.
Coach, look at Jerry Rice, look at Steve McNair, look at Walter Payton, look at all these guys that went to D2s or FCS schools. Like, it's not all about it. I think you're hitting the nail on the head. A lot of times a kid will get ranked just because they go to the school. right?
Yeah.
If you go to De La Salle, or you go to Mater Dei in California, or you go to IMG or East St. Louis, like, you're going to get some stars. But I look at those stars as potential, and I like the definition of potential, which means hasn't done nothing yet.
Right.
So when you show up, you better show out.
I like it. I like it. The definition of potential means you ain't done nothing. So
That's
you better
facts.
hear coach and strap it up and get ready to go.
Yeah.
We are on, you guys, to our next topic. And thank you for joining us. If you're joining us live, I'm Coach Terrence Wood. In the Before You Go Pro Locker Room Show, we got Q, the guru, my trusted host, and none other than the amazing coach, Coach Jason Burianek from Missouri Baptist, has literally, you guys, built this program from scratch. He was on the sideline the very first day that this program had a game and has built it up. So let's get into it real quick, Coach, and thank you for the time. I know we don't have much time, but NAIA, NCAA differences. A lot of these kids, especially West Coast kids, aren't as familiar with the NAIA. Can you just rattle off maybe 2 or 3 differences between the two, on or off the field? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I would say is don't get confused. There's a lot of good talent, guys getting drafted, guys getting picked up, free agent out of the NAI. I mean, it's very equivalent to Division II. That we can give athletic scholarships. So the two main differences is that we don't have the same eligibility requirements. So, like the NCAA has clearinghouse and they've got core courses that you have to take. We don't. If you are a 2.0, and right now there's a test optional. You don't even have to have an ACT score to be eligible as a freshman. So if you graduate and are above a 2.0, you're eligible.
Wow.
So yeah. And now it might be different to get into the school, but for eligibility, there's no core courses, none of that. So that's a huge difference right there. It gives a lot more guys opportunities. And then the other main difference is in our scholarship money. We actually have more scholarship money to hand out in the NAI than we do NCAA. The reason is because, like, a Division II school, they're maxed at 36 full scholarships when they're out recruiting. Everybody else has to be a walk-on. We don't have a limit. We can scholarship everybody in St. Louis. We can scholarship everybody in America, but we are counted on who plays on Saturday. So that's where our money gets counted. So those are the two differences. There's actually more money available, at the NAI level, and it's a high level ball because of that. So you'll get guys that, can get really good scholarship packages and be eligible and avoid the junior college route because everybody feels differently about junior college, so I'm not going to speak ill of it, but it's a different beast. It's a different beast, and it's not for everybody.
Yeah, no, that's perfect right there, you guys. So there you go. Some of you guys that are a little tight on the academic side, you can go to NAIA and play right away, and the competition is very comparable to good level D2, D1 AA FCS level. So that is huge. And thank you, Coach, for that clarification. I see some of the people coming in. Former teammate Andy Peak of me and Coach Burianek at the University of Colorado. What's going on? And then I see the great Eric Foss from Alabama. He's got a great quarterback, young quarterback, Coach, that you might want to check out. He
we need that
info. And the people,
we need it.
Always need a trigger, man.
Know. So that's good. And we are on, you guys, to our next segment. We are almost done with the locker room show, but this is the segment that everybody loves. This is the lightning round, where it goes down. And if you are joining us for the first time, the lightning round is our version of a little bit of word association, where whoever our guest is for the show has 60 seconds, y'all. 60 seconds to rattle off the first thing that comes to their mind after we say, either a person's name or a phrase. We got a few different ones to throw at Coach tonight. So, Coach, you ready for the lightning round?
I guess this is probably the most nervous I've been.
Ain't nothing but a 2-minute drill,
There you go.
Coach. That's
Well,
all
hey,
right.
Okay.
we got some
Yeah,
good
ain't
news
nothing
for
but a
you.
2-minute
We
drill.
got some good news. With the lightning round, there is an award. There is a winner. So right before the season kicks off, the first college game of the season, we will be announcing a winner of the series of lightning rounds that we've had. Even our very own Q the Guru has had his turn at the lightning round. Now, right now, Coach, our record is 10. Our record is 10.
All right.
So if
All
you
right.
can get more than 10 in 60 seconds, then you get the award, and it's going to be a nice dinner for you and your wife and a hotel stay. So if she sees this, she's going to want you to win. So let me get my clock ready to stopwatch. Now, Coach Burianek was a good wide receiver in his day, and he's used to running 40-yard dashes. So this is nothing new to him. And we have our stopwatch ready. I'm not cheating him. As you guys can see, it's double zeros. I've been accused, Coach, of cheating and starting the clock before I give out the first word. So first thing that comes to your mind, okay?
Deal.
And I know that you're a God-fearing man, so I don't think anything too sideways is going to come out, but don't worry about it. I know Mom's watching too. So let's get the stopwatch ready.
We got to break the huddle, Coach. We got to go.
All right. So number one, first thing that comes to your mind, Lincoln Riley.
Sooner.
Cordell Stewart.
Hail Mary.
Donovan McNabb.
Vikings.
Tacos or burritos?
Tacos.
Gary Barnett.
3 days.
The NAIA.
Good football.
Are you skydiving or jet skiing?
Jet skiing.
The great Bill Walsh.
Plays.
Missouri Baptist.
Coming along.
Lawrence Taylor.
Jail.
Le'Veon Bell.
Beast.
And I'm done. I'm out. He got 11. I didn't expect him to get 11. And he's at 50 seconds. And he did just like a coach. He just gave one word, just like we do a 2-minute drill.
Yeah.
He getting the plays out.
I thought that's what it was. You said it's a race, not a.
Hey, that's this.
So he done ran me out my list. So you are the winner right now, Coach Jay. And I might have cheated him. He might have went to about 15.
You're good.
But
good.
Right now, Coach Jay is our winner at 11 with the lightning round. People might be talking mess. Oh, no limit. Jimmy Rucker, the great Jimmy Rucker said no limit. Nice. Yeah, so you are the winner, man. I owe you a dinner and a hotel stay. So keep tuning in.
You're good. You're good. That was fun.
No, that was good, man. You killed it. So let's get on to our last segment, you guys, and that is the Q&A segment of the show. And just real quick, Coach, you already kind of mentioned it. You said JC isn't for everybody. I know there's also another option, a prep school. What would you say as far as to a young man that's considering the three, NAIA, Missouri Baptist, JC, or prep school? What would you say the main thing that young man should consider in that decision?
Well, I think you got to really consider, and really, this is tough for guys to do, but really self-evaluate. Like, if you have legitimate D1 schools in that are in talking to you, and I'm not talking about I'm talking about as regularly, right? Not the camp mail, okay? Yeah. Just because you get camp mail, that they're not recruiting you. So like if you got coaches in talking to you in person and telling you, hey, look, we'd like to maybe set you up at a JC, or maybe if you go to a JC, we can get you back in a year or two. Then I think you look at the JC route. But they're stocking up with those D1 guys, and there's a lot of D1s that are placing guys in junior colleges to pull them back. And Coach Q probably could speak more to it, because with the Jayhawk League, I mean, K-State and Kansas was filling with those. So if you're not a D1 caliber and you go JC, you're going to get buried. You're better off to go to an NAI or go to a prep school and get on the field. And ultimately, I think you got to also ask yourself, like, what is your goal? If your goal is to just be on a football team at the highest level possible, then, go walk on, go do what you got to do. But if your goal is to be on the field and play football, then you really need to self-evaluate where's the best fit for you.
That's big right there,
That's
you
huge.
guys. Huge
That's
difference. Huge difference. Are you just wearing the jersey or are you making plays? And you got to be honest with yourself. Q, you got anything for Coach before we let him go here?
No. I just wanted to agree. I mean, when you look back, I mean, man, like Carl Neesmith, man, Big 12 newcomer of the year, and he was out of JUCO in the Jayhawk League. You got Blinn, where Michael Bishop came out of JUCO. Cam Newton came out of Blinn, JUCO. So you have some killers coming out of there. So Coach is 100% right. Like, don't get it twisted. You going into JUCO, you got kids that might have got caught up with some off the field issues, but was supposed to start at Auburn as a freshman or a sophomore. Like, you got some pure dogs. There. So you really have to kind of evaluate where you're at as a player and where you can get and really be able to strap it up and play. Like you said, that's the whole key. You want to play.
That's a great point right there, you guys. Well, hey, I know that you guys got a lot out of tonight's show. Coach Jay, thanks for the short notice.
Hey, appreciate
having
it.
our back, baby.
Hey, Q, you're in St. Louis. You got to come by.
Oh, definitely. Well, I'm down here in Houston, but I'm back home quite a bit, so I'll definitely check
Okay.
it out.
Okay.
I'll definitely check
He
it out.
played against Cortland and everybody when he was in high school.
So I got to ask the famous St. Louis question. What high school did you go to?
I went to Hazelwood East, baby.
Oh, you went to Hazelwood East. Big time rivals of Central.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we went to Hazelwood East, man.
Coach Jay is deep in those St. Louis streets.
Yeah,
we got to. Hey, well, Coach, you got to think about it. That at our age, pretty much all the coaches. I tell you what, matter of fact, we'll talk. Make sure you go by Rittner and talk to Coach Kersey. Yarman Kersey.
Oh, been there. We had Rittner up in preseason for a practice. We brought their whole team up for a practice, and we actually had Coach Kirksey's son this past year on our team.
That's my best friend, man.
So good dude.
That's my
really
best
good
friend.
dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Terrence got all my contact, but hit me up.
Okay, I definitely will, for sure.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Coach.
See you guys. Appreciate
Coach.
you. Good job. Proud of you, T.
Thank you. Love you, man. Proud of you.
Love you too, buddy.
All right, you guys. So there you go. That is Coach Jay, none other. Amazing man, God-fearing man, beautiful family, and doing big things out at Missouri Baptist, you guys. I was saying it, Q, literally, man, from the first nail in the stands. This man done raised money for the field. He's worn all the hats.
Everything, right.
Everything, man. So proud of him. And hey, if you're a BYGP athlete or before you go pro athlete, that's a pipeline. That's a pipeline for us. We've sent some kids there, got some on the team now. So you guys better get with us. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the show tonight. And make sure, please, that you subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. It boosts us up with the algorithms. It also makes sure that whenever we're launching a new show, because we're bringing in the best of the best, you guys, this whole summer in the football industry to game you up. All right. So ride with us, help us build this thing up, share with your friends, especially if they are a football player, a parent of a football player, or a coach. Share it with them. This is free game. Q, before we sign off, baby, you got anything for the audience?
I don't. Just look forward to everyone tuning in. Make sure to hit that button for that algorithm, and we'll definitely see you all next week. We got some more for you.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week, and have a great weekend. Peace.